With AEW Dynasty this upcoming weekend, here are my predictions for every single matchup scheduled. The quarterfinals of the Owen Hart tournament, I do believe that Will Ospreay gets the victory over Kevin Knight. He probably has a long and fruitful career in All Elite Wrestling, but I can't see him getting the victory over Will Ospreay, especially with his aspirations for AEW All In. It can be said about Kyle Fletcher, who will also be partaking in the tournament this year, and he will be facing off against Mark Briscoe, and honestly, I can't see him taking an L to one half of the Briscoe brothers. I think Kyle Fletcher certainly goes over. The women's side of the tournament, I do believe a lot of these quarterfinal matchups are pretty predictable, as we can see who are the main stars heading into the final rounds of the tournament. For that being said, I think Mercedes Moné will be defeating Julia Hart. Nothing against Julia Hart. Big fan of hers and her time in the House of Black. But I do think that Mercedes Moné, she's going to get this victory and continuing on the ascension up the women's division. We also have the Ring of Honor World Championship being defended at Dynasty in a title versus mask matchup. Bandito looks to defeat Chris Jericho to secure his time as the Ring of Honor champion one more time, as well as retaining his own mask, and I do think he gets the job done. This feud has been battling back and forth regarding the significance of the mask in Lucha Libre. I can't see Bandito losing this matchup, and I also think it's time for Chris Jericho to move on away from the Ring of Honor World title. And speaking of Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree, Big Bill and Brian Keith will be challenging the Hurt Syndicate for the tag team titles. And I swear to God, if the Hurt Syndicate lose these titles already, I'm going to feel a type of way. I think they're going to get the victory here. They're going to get a big victory over Big Bill and Brian Keith. Probably Brian Keith will be taking the pin here. But if the Hurt Syndicate do not win this matchup, I would be absolutely shocked. As the Trios Championships will be defended, as the Death Riders will be facing off against Rated FTR, who have their own issues going on at the moment. Right now, Cash Wheeler and Dax not really seeing eye to eye, and Adam Copeland, better known as Cope nowadays, hasn't really been faring well with the fans online, but I do think that the Death Riders get the victory here. I would have honestly had picked Rated FTR, but of the drama that has been going on within the team itself, this leads me to believe that the Death Riders will certainly successfully retain. Now here's a championship matchup that I think we'll see a new champion. Danny Garcia has been the TNT champion for quite some time now, a couple months if you're keeping track, and Adam Cole has been rising up the ranks ever since making his return from that long injury. I think Adam Cole gets the victory here over Danny Garcia, kind of gets the favor over that draw that they had a couple weeks ago. What possibly could be the match of the night? Kenny Omega looks to defend his title, the International Championship, against Speedball, Mike Bailey, and Ricochet. I think this certainly has the potential to be match of the night. With that being said, I can't see Kenny Omega losing that title already. He just won the title. I'm expecting a long reign with Kenny as the International Champion, but it should be a great matchup. I'm thinking Ricochet takes the fall here. Another championship that I think will be successfully retained is Timeless Toni Storm, as she defeats Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne's been presented as a viable threat to the title as of late, but again, I still don't think Toni Storm loses the title after just regaining it from Mariah May. It's looking like AEW Dynasty should be a good pay-per-view in terms of the match quality, but in terms of the results, I feel like a lot of them are kind of easy to predict, for my opinion. And finally, in the main event, Jon Moxley will defend his AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland. It should be a great matchup between two of the best that AEW has to offer. I would absolutely love for Swerve Strickland to regain the title at the very same event that he won it in the first place last year at Dynasty, but I don't think it's the call. I think Moxley somehow, some way, finds another way to win the matchup, retain the title. Would love Swerve to win here, but I think Moxley gets the victory, continuing on the reign of the Death Riders for just a little bit longer. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you think will win the AEW World Championship? As for the other matches on the card as well.